Hi and good evening. Welcome to this week's Facebook Live Prayer, Silence and Reflection, coming this week from Great Hucklow Unitarian Chapel. Well, lovely to see you, whether you're watching that this evening, Thursday, when this goes live, or indeed catching up at another time. Our prayer this evening will be on conflict. And our reflection will be a little reflection on the conflict within the conscience of some of us about the reduction in the foreign aid budget this week. And as ever, we have our invitation to silence to finish, a chance to connect in silence, however you choose to do it. I often ask, and I will ask tonight, why do we pray? Quite a few people don't like that word prayer, but it's an opportunity to connect outside of yourself. However you view your source inside, whatever you view spirit as or God, it's an opportunity to sit honouring others, honouring our presence on this earth. And it's not about, praying for the next new car. I know that some people do, but for me, I can't see how that works. And it's not what this little session's about, and it's certainly not how I experience it. So let's take some moments in prayer. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, be present with me now. Be present in the partaking of conflict, on the challenge of conflict. Be with me now, experiencing conflict. And yes, those conflicts that we know, the thing known as war and violence. May warmth and love find those many people around the planet threatened with or in the middle of violence and war. Yemen for so many years. And to the people of Afghanistan. May peace and smiles return. And around the world, the conflicts in communities as we continue to respond to the challenges of the pandemic, about isolation or not isolation, wearing a mask, not wearing a mask. There are conflicts that arise between people within a business or a service even. And there are our own internal conflicts too about the right and best thing to do. We are all decision makers. We are all in conflict with choice. May we feel and experience the goodness that can be in the energy of conflict. May we all refrain from the escalation that takes us beyond difficulty towards the darkness of severe action. And for everybody, not just in this country but around the world, the conflicts of not being able to be with family at times of crisis, if they're ill at the moment, for those that we have lost in the pandemic. The conflicts of when to visit, how to visit, what to do. And for those of us challenged with the psychological difficulty, whether we are in our houses or now thinking cautiously or not cautiously of going out. May conflicts feel resolvable. May they be resolved. Blessings to all the minds and bodies in conflict. May your souls comfort you and invite you into a journey anew. May it be so. And taking that conflict in reflection now, a conflict of conscience. I'm not going to go into the details or the whys and wherefores, but I think we're all aware that the foreign aid budget has been reduced from one amount to another. Why does that matter? It seems a pretty logical argument, doesn't it? We've spent a lot of money fighting this pandemic, therefore we have to save some. Okay. But I think there are two conflicts that we ought to consider, and indeed our politicians should have considered when they said no, we'll cut it. Well, there's the conflict of the past and there's the conflicts of the future. So the conflicts of the past are about how we in this country have achieved our standard of living. I could say, perhaps unkindly, that we have trampled over the feet and the soil of the rest of the world, if you take the long haul from the Industrial Revolution. Many in the world would agree with that statement, but regardless of where you sit with the statement, it is undeniable that the standard of living that I enjoy and we all enjoy in this country has been on the back of a relationship often unpleasant with the rest of the world. And therefore, there is a process of acknowledging that and giving back to the world. And in the United Kingdom, we have a proud record of giving more foreign aid in that way than most nations in most years. But for the future too, there is a future conflict. Does war cause poverty, or does poverty cause war? I think we're all reasonably okay with the idea that shortage of resources of whatever description leads to conflict, the need to eat or have shelter or water. There are water conflicts emerging all around the globe and have been for the last 10 to 15 years. And so every last penny that contributes to a new conflict is adding to that mass. And yet I'm sure some would argue that, and it's not necessarily the case, that all the foreign aid went into places that reduced resource issues. That may well be the case. But whatever it is, an awful lot of money, I think, is it 4 billion, will no longer be going to parts of the world that require it. And I am happy to allow for a bit of squandering that happens there, because the governments that use that money don't use it well, or indeed fraudulently. That's part of the gig, really. You can't expect it all to go exactly to the right place. And I know I will hear voices that would say, well, we'll stop doing it then, but I disagree. You do it regardless. But that future is about contributing to more conflict by reducing that money that we give. And that, frankly, leaves me a bit sad, It might, if I think about it, even get me a little bit angry, especially as we now have no clear mechanism for it being returned, unless of course we have a change of government at some point. So have a think about that this week. Whichever side of the fence you're on, whether you agree that we need to withhold resources, would it be fair to then challenge your government to make a true commitment about how we get that back, rather than this strange nebulous, well, when we balance our budget, when we have enough money, we'll put it back. And if you're on the other side who think we just shouldn't have done it in the first place, you need to sit with everybody else who thinks the same and ensure that you collaborate and cooperate and work hard together to deliver that at the ballot box next time. It's a reflection on conflict. So yes, a few political statements, but I don't apologise for that, because managing our society is through politics, and so much of politics has conflict. And the invitation to silence this evening is one I often give as we've talked politics tonight. If I was in a big negotiation, crikey, it wouldn't be great news if I was in number 10, I don't think, but wouldn't it be different if that discussion started with the lighting of a candle and a pause and some silence? And that structured through that meeting was the same, pauses and silence. So the invitation for you today is to imagine yourself at the table of that grand negotiation between countries over whatever it may be, and the difference it would make if you lit a candle and sit in silence. And if you can't be bothered with that visualization because it gets you too uptight, just simply visualize any meeting, any discussion, and the lighting of the candle and the sitting in silence first. Well, may there be little conflict in your life this week, and where there is conflict, may you seek the juice and the goodness that may come from being open to listening to the other, to holding out your hand always to the other, even as it feels like that is impossible. Go well. Remain open to the beloved of your heart.